Here's another point that I wanted to share with you. Republicans are outraged, frankly, for all the wrong reasons. This past Friday, $5 billion, just in time for Thanksgiving, right? Just in time for Thanksgiving. $5 billion was automatically slashed from the federal food stamp program, affecting the lives of 47 million Americans. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates that because of these cuts, a family of 4 who receives food stamps will lose about 20 meals a month. But that cut wasn't enough for the Republicans. They still want to slash an additional $40 billion from the program in the name of reducing spending in the federal debt. Republicans love to argue like the programs like SNAP, the federal food stamp program, and other social safety net programs put an unfair burden on American taxpayers. But if they just took a minute to crunch the numbers, they'd realize that's flat out wrong. In 2012, the average American taxpayer making $50,000 a year paid just $36 towards the food stamp program. That's 10 cents a day. That's less than the cost of a gumball. But Republicans think that's still too high a price to pay to help the neediest and most vulnerable Americans. And make no mistake about it, to qualify for food stamp, you really have to be one of the neediest and most vulnerable. And when it comes to funding the rest of America's social safety net programs, all of it together, all of the stuff we call welfare, the average American taxpayer making $50,000 a year pays just over $6 a year. $36 for food stamps, $6 for welfare. Simply put, the American taxpayer isn't paying much for social safety net programs like food stamps and Medicare, or Medicaid, excuse me. But we are paying a lot for the billions of dollars the U.S. government gives to corporate America each year. The average American family pays a staggering $6,000 a year in subsidies to Republican-friendly big businesses. And that's just the average family. That's a family making $50,000 a year. If somebody's making more than that, say $70,000, they're paying even more. So where does some of that $6,000 that you and I are paying every year actually go? Or more if we're making more than 50, or a little less if we're making less, but you get the point. Where does it go? Well, for starters, $870 of it. We're spending $36 a year for food stamps. We're spending, this is an average family, with a $50,000 a year income, $870 of that goes to direct subsidies and grants for corporations. We give that money to the government as taxes. They write a check. This includes money to subsidize big oil companies that are polluting our skies and fueling climate change and global warming. I mean, compare that to the $36 that you and I pay for food stamps every year. An additional $870 goes to corporate tax subsidies because they're paying half the taxes that they were paying back during the, back before Reagan, basically. The Tax Foundation has found that the special tax provisions of corporations cost taxpayers over $100 billion a year. That's roughly $870 per family. And in reality, that number is actually almost certainly much, much higher. Citizens for Tax Justice found that the U.S. Treasury lost $181 billion in corporate tax subsidies, which means the average American family could be out as much as $1,600 a year just on that line item. Finally, of the $6,000 in corporate subsidies that the average American family pays every year, $1,231 of it goes to making up for revenue losses from corporate tax havens. This money goes to recouping losses from giant transnational corporations like Apple and GE that hide their money overseas so they can boost profits and avoid paying taxes to help the American economy. Bottom line here, average American families are paying $6,000 a year to subsidize giant transnational corporations that are already making billions, hundreds of billions of dollars in profits every year. In the past decade alone, corporations have doubled their profits. Republicans on Capitol Hill keep suggesting we can't afford to help the poor in this country. They're wrong. What we really can't afford is doling out $100 billion every year to corporations that don't need it. That's where the real outrage and the real news coverage should be. It's time to bring an end to corporate welfare, to use those dollars to help those Americans who need it the most. $36 a year for food stamps? $6,000 a year for corporate welfare? Seems to me like this is a no-brainer.